What's up, guys? Man Rambles, day 20. I said yesterday, 2 things I try and improve on. This week was video professionalism. Trying to get it clearer, see me better. It's not just my fucking head in the screen. Lighting's better, so hopefully done that. And detailing which I'm talking about. So we'll try emphasis those today. And obviously continue what I've been talking about last week. Or trying to work on rather. That was a bit more enthusiasm and to come with an idea. Alright. Yesterday's idea we talked about rest, and today I want to talk a little bit about purpose. I think I've talked about that a bit in other videos, or at least skimmed over it. But I want to go into a bit more detail with it today. And where I want to take it is more to when to switch your purpose and what to do outside of your purpose. So we'll start there. I've realized throughout my life that constantly, for me to be satisfied in where I am and where I'm going, mentally and physically, I need to have a purpose. There's a book by David Dieter, I believe, called The Way of the Superior Man, and he talks about having a purpose and constantly trying to, if you haven't got your purpose and you're not aiming towards it every single day, then you're aiming to find your purpose. And I think as a man, that is one of the most crucial overarching things of life, is to find what is your purpose. Because in society we see so many men, so many boys growing up, and they're just aimlessly meandering and wandering through life, which is the reason why depression rates go up, suicide rates as a result go up, and men just smoke weed, do drugs, drink. Yeah, cool, they might do that anyway, but the fact that I believe so many men do that is because they're supplementing the fact that they don't have a purpose and a reason to exist. Your purpose is your reason to exist. And I say as a man because I'm not a woman, funny enough, so I can only say what I feel as a man from our perspective. Maybe women feel like this, maybe they don't. But from a man's perspective, you need a purpose. Because without it, you'll just constantly wander through life and never have a goal. And as a result, you never achieve anything. And if you never achieve anything, you have no you have no meaning. Like if you don't have a purpose, then you're not working towards something. If you're not working towards something, you then won't achieve something. And if you won't achieve something and you're not continuously working towards something, you're never going to be proud of yourself. You're never going to feel accomplished. You're never going to feel like your life has meaning. And therefore, depression arises. People get sad. And when they don't feel like they have meaning, they don't have that intrinsic dopamine, desire, energy for life. So what do? They supplement it with, in other areas, they watch porn. Because, yeah, great, we can watch some porn. Oh, I get that mad dopamine. Oh, yeah, I feel amazing. Oh, no, I feel shit. Because it's instant gratification. Because it's just cheap manufactured dopamine. They do the same with alcohol. They're like, oh, yeah, let's go out. Let's go, oh, I've had a hard week because I hate my life. So because I have to do a mundane and boring job. So what they do is they do that job. And then they're like, oh, Jesus, now I have to drown my sorrows, or trying to find some sort of form of dopamine to make me feel alive, make me feel like life is fun. So they drink, they do drugs, they smoke weed, just so that they can get from Monday to Tuesday. Whereas I truly believe, and I say this with someone who's got experience in this, when you find your purpose, you have that reason. You have that reason not to do those things, not to drink, etc. You have that reason to get up, to push forward day in and day out and do the hard things. And because everything's hard, of course, you're not always going to feel great all the time. You're not always going to work all the time. That's just life. Life is fucking hard. But when you're doing something that is part of your purpose, it is worthwhile. So when you sit there and say, Jesus, I hate waking up this time. I hate doing this. I hate another rep. Yeah, you might. But you think, all right, cool. It's for it in the end. Because deep down, it's what I actually want to do. Right? So I choose to be here. That choice of just consciously being like, cool, I choose to be here, right? That will just propel you to achieve far more. And it will mean that you don't have to supplement things like drugs, alcohol, bad habits, because you have the satisfaction and dopamine in your life through the fact that you're doing something you want to do and you feel proud and happy with yourself. And that goes on to my next part. When do you stop? When do you stop a purpose, and when do you take a break from a purpose? This is something that I've struggled with myself, realizing. I think it's more easy to realize when to stop than it is when to take a break, because that goes into what I was talking about yesterday with rest. When you have a purpose, that drive to work, and I say this from experience. Yeah, cool. It's not years of experience, but it's definitely months of experience of realizing what your purpose is. And it took me a long while to find it, and it might do for anybody watching this. But I can tell you now, when you find that purpose, you wake up every day with a smile, and wake up knowing that the hard work, you enjoy it so much more. You can just do more because it's what you want to do. And it almost becomes hard to rest. And I think that's when you know it's a purpose and it's not work. And when it's work, it's more of a chore. So therefore, you know it's just a life and not work. Because for me, I never want to work. I just want to live. I want to live hard and do the hard things and quote unquote work, but it doesn't feel like work because I enjoy it. Even if I don't enjoy every aspect of it, I still enjoy it. Ultimately. So when when you're doing the work, you enjoy, you go through hard bits, and then when you dip and dip and dip, you understand, and then you need a break. You understand when it's really is your purpose, because when you have the break, you almost find more enjoyment from doing the work than having the break. And that's interesting because the break becomes almost feels like a chore. And it might not do for the first minute because you might be like, oh, cool, relax. But then after a minute, you sort of have that break, you'll sit there and be like, all right, cool, I'm thinking about work. And that's where it becomes hard to rest. That links into what I was trying to talk about yesterday about how you have to make sure you give your rest 100% as much as you do with your work. Because if you are just thinking about your work, then it doesn't become a rest, and then you can't put all your energy into your work and your purpose, which is ultimately what you want to do. But not just that, when you take a break from your purpose, the first thing you want to do is just get back to it. Because it's what you love. It is the reason for your existence. And that is what makes it a purpose. And that is what makes life beautiful. And that's how people are able to do hard things, hard work. It's because they love it. I did mechanical engineering as a degree, and I hated every minute of it. And I thought to myself, I'd work my ass off, I'd work hard. And there'll come times where I'd literally just hate it, and I'd still have to try work. And I would see people work harder than me. And these people would work 24/7. Like if they're awake, they're working. And I used to be there like, how are you doing that? And they'd do it with a smile on their face. And I'd sit there and be like, how are you doing that? I work 10 hours a day. And I'm sat here feeling like I'm dying. Like I hate life. And every second is like walking through mud. And the difference is it was their purpose. It was what they loved. It wasn't my purpose. But it was their purpose and it was what they loved. And someone who is doing it because it is their purpose will always yield better results because they'll be able to work longer, better, and harder than someone who's doing it just for the sake of doing it. And that is why it is beautiful being your purpose. Finding your purpose and not just doing something because you have to do it to make money, to live, whatever. But it is also difficult to realize a new purpose. Finding a new purpose takes time. And you have to try the things you feel is right, feel like you want to do, and just try them out. Some things you'll do and you're like, I actually don't get it. This isn't what I thought. But you keep going, and then if you're still there and you're like, yeah, no, this isn't what I want, then find something else. But always trying to learn and prepare yourself and push yourself in the direction you're finding a new purpose if you don't have one. Never just sit there and hope it comes to you, because that's not real life, and it's just not gonna. But I'll tell you what is easy, I find, is when you realize that something's no longer your purpose. I think you have to make sure you don't confuse just a bit of tiredness, bit of overwork potentially, with not wanting to do something, because they're extremely different. But when you don't want do something as your purpose, it doesn't give you that same intrinsic desire, and it's hard to explain. But I feel like when you live a purpose and you do it and you achieve it fully, then when you don't have that feeling anymore, you realize it's clear to see that it isn't your purpose. And there's a book called Expert Leads, and he says, do something until you have 2 commas in it. So basically, make over $1 million. And I think that's important, because when something isn't your purpose anymore, number one, you've conquered it. You've got those 2 commas in it. You can't particularly find any obvious information or in-depth information about it. And number three, it just doesn't. Sorry, number two, it just doesn't give the same feelings anymore. That is when you know it's time to find a new purpose. As I've been 11 minutes longer call today, I'm in Keelan. Peace.